those guidelines. And of course, those headlines change every day on COVID-19. So let's bring you the latest headlines that we have. Marion Correctional Institution, which is just west of Mansfield, has 1,950 inmates with confirmed cases. That's 78% of its population. The concerning thing, 95% of those cases showed no symptoms. Delta Airlines, the biggest and most profitable U.S. airline, is now reporting a $534 million loss for the first quarter. And in Cleveland, the city will start taking temperatures of all public works and utility workers, including frontline workers such as waste collectors and inspectors. Now, Governor DeWine was on MSNBC yesterday giving new insight on what it could look like when Ohio's economy begins to gradually open next week, beginning May 1st. Lena Lai has more on that.
We're going to do it very slowly. We're going to do it very carefully.
But details on how Ohio plans to reopen the economy 1 week from Friday have only come out through hints and tidbits from Governor Mike DeWine.
We're going to look at some companies to start off with, frankly, that are similar to the ones that we've deemed essential.
Appearing on MSNBC, DeWine suggested the first companies allowed to reopen will be those that protect workers and customers.
They're taking people's temperatures when they come in. They've got the protective gear on. They've got masks on.
The governor likened his plan to that of Massachusetts, which is ramping up coronavirus testing and contact tracing. DeWine called today's FDA approval of testing reagents necessary to significantly increase Ohio's testing capacity by mid-May.
We know how to stop COVID in its tracks, but we need your help.
Ohio is also working with Partners in Health, a Boston-based nonprofit specializing in contact tracing. It's a technique that works to identify infected people, isolating them, then tracking down everyone they've been in contact with to get those people tested and into quarantine. It's labor-intensive, but seen as key to snuffing out a pandemic.
We're describing this as an Ohio plan for Ohioans.
DeWine says his plan includes some of the federal guidelines for reopening the economy, which calls for a downward 14-day trend of COVID-like cases. But the governor admits we're not there yet.
Looks to be at a plateau. So we're not going down. That's what we want. But we've reached that plateau.
Lena Lai, thank you. More relief on the way now for small businesses and our hospitals, much needed relief. The U.S. Senate unanimously passed a nearly $500 billion coronavirus relief bill. The bill includes $484 billion for more small business loans, direct aid to hospitals, and a program to boost nationwide testing. This comes after nearly 2 weeks of negotiations with the White House.
Great victory for the American people, but we certainly need to do more.
The House expected to vote on the bill tomorrow, and the White House is already looking ahead to the next relief bill that could include money for infrastructure as well as a payroll tax cut. Well, perhaps some good news for Ohioans looking for unemployment relief. Today, the state rolled out a plan to submit claims on specific days of the week based on your last name. Beginning this Sunday, those with last names beginning A through H can apply on Sunday. As for Monday, if your last name begins with an I through the letter P, that is your day to file your claims. And those with the last name beginning with Q through Z can apply on Tuesday. If you miss those dates, anyone can apply Wednesday through Saturday. To make sure things move even faster when you apply, set your correspondence preference to electronic. That's a lot of information, I know. If you missed any of that, we've posted all of it on our website, WKYC.com. It's also available on the WKYC app. Monica?
Well, today, 13 Cleveland Clinic caregivers will travel to the Henry Ford Health System in Michigan to help with the COVID pandemic 19 there. The group includes critical care nurses, nurse practitioners, as well as X-ray technicians, CT technicians, and many others. This is the second week in a row where frontline workers from Ohio have crossed state lines to assist other hospitals. And coronavirus testing is important to track the spread of the disease and has a direct impact on Ohio's economy. And I got an exclusive look inside University Hospital's lab at their main campus. And with the FDA's approval of a new reagent, it will help testing increase capacity across the state. University Hospitals is one of those labs that will benefit as long as the reagent is the type that they need, because testing needs more than one kind. UH now has the ability to do 3 types of testing. The latest is a rapid test with total turnaround time in under an hour.
It actually can give you a COVID result from as soon as 5 minutes and as long as 15 minutes.
UH Labs can do about 500 COVID tests in a day. With a steady supply of reagents, they hope to triple that amount, but also share the load.
With more reagents and test kits available, then there are other hospitals and locations throughout the state or throughout the country that aren't able to do any testing at all right now, that would then have the capacity.
More testing ability has often been linked to helping get the economy going. But just why is that so important when dealing with a virus?
It will be really critical to make sure that anybody who has a suspicion of having coronavirus disease is able to get a test. Because then in conjunction with the public health authorities, we can do what's called contact tracing and see who that positive individual has been in contact with, monitor them for symptoms, get them testing more quickly.
By the way, it's Medical Lab Professionals Week, and these folks are also on that front line of the pandemic. And these labs run nearly 24/7 because when they're not testing for COVID-19, they're also testing those basic medical tests that we count on them for. Soon, you're not going to have to leave your house to take a test for the coronavirus. The FDA issued an emergency use authorization for the first at-home test. The sample collection kit comes with a nasal swab that is then mailed back for testing. Now, to receive the kit, you have to complete an online questionnaire, which is then sent to a doctor for approval. The company, LabCorp, hopes to make them available in the coming weeks.
Monica, now that it's confirmed that kids won't be going back to the classroom this school year, districts across Northeast Ohio are planning for what's next, but that's very difficult because none of us are sure. We're told that virtual learning has been very difficult on many teachers, students, as well as parents. And since we don't know yet when schools will reopen, Cleveland Schools CEO Eric Gordon tells us it's hard to prepare both kids and classrooms for that next step.
We've talked about whether we would run, staggered schedules, whether we would run an A day and a B day so that half the class came on one day and half the other.
The state is also working its plans on what going back to school will look like. Well, with the talk of our schools comes talk of school sports. The Ohio High School Athletic Association has canceled all spring sports for this year. The decision comes after Governor DeWine announced earlier this week that K through 12 schools would stay closed and continue remote learning for the rest of the school year. This also will mark the first time since 1907 that the state of Ohio will not hold its annual state track meet. Wow. And words cannot express how much we feel for the class of 2020. They're missing out on so much. We want to do our part to help honor them. We want to honor as many as we can. So parents and grandparents of seniors in high school, send us those pictures. You can text them to us, 216-344-3300. We'll share as many of those smiling faces as we can to do our part to honor the class of 2020. 3 News Connect. Taking a quick break. We'll be right back.
We all have that list of home improvement projects we need to do, and if replacing your home's window
are planning a mass call out this week to protest the company's response to the coronavirus outbreak. More than 300 Amazon employees from some 50 facilities have pledged to not go to work starting today. The protest is taking place across several days because workers are scheduled to report to their shifts on different days and at various times. Well, one business that is booming right now is Netflix. That's because we're all stuck inside and we all want something to watch. The streaming service said that it added nearly double the new subscribers that it had expected to add. It added nearly 16 million paid subscribers globally in the first quarter of 2020. Compare that to their previous record quarter of subs at 9.6 million. It's incredible. Netflix executives say they know this won't last forever, and in a letter to shareholders, they said hopefully progress against the virus will allow governments to lift those stay-at-home orders. The calendar says late April. Temperatures feel like late February. Jason Fraser is here now to tell us if any weather relief is on the way. Jason?
Afternoon, everybody, on this Earth Day. Can you believe it? It is already Earth Day, and it is Wednesday, just in case you are keeping track. So for those of you that are in the process of going out and about for today, I think for the next hour or two, you're going to be fine. But towards the latter half of the afternoon, that is when we will start to see increase in cloud cover. I am watching two different systems that are going to impact us at different times. The first one is to our west, and it is slowly making its way over the Great Lakes into Indiana, and eventually it's going to make its way into northeast Ohio, likely later on this afternoon. There's a second system that is moving over Arkansas as well as Oklahoma and Kansas, and that is eventually going to impact us likely tomorrow afternoon as well. Let's go hour by hour and show you what to expect. So this afternoon we'll see increase in clouds and some rain showers will definitely pop up. Those of you in the Akron-Canton region, you could end up seeing some of these rain showers become pretty moderate at times. And then those of you east of downtown Cleveland, including Menor as well as Jefferson, everybody across Ashtabula County, could at some point see some of these rain showers convert over into some snow showers. We're not expecting any major accumulation with the system. Might see a coating in some parts of our areas, just enough to make things a little bit slippery along the roadway. Then for tomorrow morning, we'll see some clearing in terms of the rain showers. I do think we will see a decent amount of cloud cover, but then towards the latter half of the morning, many of us will end up seeing some moderate rain showers move across our region, and they will likely be sticking around through the afternoon hours. We will end up seeing some peaks of dryness throughout the day, but it'll likely happen towards the latter half of the afternoon and into the evening. And Friday morning, that's when we'll see temperatures improving to the lower end of the 40s. Here's a look right now at your Universal Windows Direct 7-day forecast. So a high for today in the middle 40s. Keep in mind, around this time of year, we should be at the lower end of the 50s. So we are going to be below normal. And then by Thursday, even though we are going to end up seeing some rain showers impact our area, we are going to at least see warmer temperatures, high of about 59. And then this weekend, things improve at least on Saturday to about 57. But then we're talking about increasing cloud cover as well as some rain showers that will likely stick around through Sunday. Back to you.
All right. I know Jason says that we have lower temperatures, but I'm sorry. Anybody who remembers Northeast Ohio winters knows that we're used to a polar vortex. We're used to it being cold, and we were just spoiled rotten this past year. So I'm just glad the polar vortex is gone. And if 28 degrees was the temperature at Jay's house, to me, that's almost shorts weather. All right. As Jason mentioned, it is Earth Day. It is now in its 50th year. And even with those chilly spring temperatures, yes, everybody, you can still get outside. You can still enjoy the fresh air. I know it's cold, but go on, get out there. Cleveland Metro Parks is hosting events all day long, and we have a list of their events, plus a whole bunch of other things happening in your community. All you need to do is just head over to WKYC.com. And just in time for Earth Day, Mattel is rolling out some iconic products that are now sustainable. Fisher-Price Rock-A-Stack and Fisher-Price Baby's First Blocks are now made from sugarcane-based plastics. The two are available as a bundle for pre-sale today. Still to come on 3 News Connect. Have you heard of the Quarantine 15, with more of us staying home and more of us cooking more? Well, at least in my house, Deke is cooking more. We have some helpful ways you can keep your weight on track. Stay with us. We'll reconnect after this.
The fast.
Oh, would love to see something like this here. Could this be what shopping of the future looks like? Hands-free handles being tested at a grocery store in Finland. They came up with this to help people who are nervous to touch door handles in public places for fear of catching coronavirus. The special door handles were developed by the energy company Fordham. They're made from recycled plastic and printed using 3D technology. And a lot of you are talking about it. Being home so much has been leading to a lot of time eating. We talked to Cleveland Clinic dietitian Kristen Kirkpatrick about how to avoid the Quarantine 15.
I'm here to give you 2 simple tips that you can do to help avoid the Quarantine 15. So many of my patients have been calling me around the clock saying, I'm so afraid that when we get out of isolation, I'm not going to be able to fit into my jeans. So here's a few things you can do. Number 1, you want to keep moving, whatever that means, whether it's biking or running or hiking or simply doing what I do, which is taking a walk around the neighborhood in the evening with my family. We go out and explore nature close to our home and get that physical activity. And if you can't do that physical activity, you can of course take advantage of all the wonderful trainers and gyms that are allowing free online resources right now to do workouts at home. Keep moving, get that movement in, it's so important. The second, in this time of changing routine, what a perfect opportunity to change the routine in the hours in which you eat. There's a concept called time-restricted eating, and it's a form of fasting that many of my patients have found a lot of success with, where you're only eating 8 hours or 10 hours every day. Now, the evidence shows that this type of fasting helps to reduce cravings, helps in reduction of hunger, and actually helps with weight loss as well. There's a lot of things you can do right now to help keep healthy and keep your weight down and stable. At the most, though, we want to make sure everyone's staying healthy and staying safe and staying home.
The sports industry is set to lose billions of dollars in revenue this year as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. Analysis from the sports marketing agency 2 Circles estimates the industry will lose about $61.6 billion in 2020. That's incredible. The agency's current projections show how only 53% of major sporting events that were planned for this year will actually take place? Well, one event that will go on just in a much different form than anything we have ever seen before is the NFL draft. Now, the real NFL will actually be conducting its draft the way most of us have for the last decade in fantasy drafts. They'll be doing it virtually. Because of the pandemic, owners, general managers, coaches, and scouts from all 32 teams will be selecting 255 college players over 3 days from the safety of their homes. That will be an interesting watch. New Washington Redskins coach Ron Rivera took to social media to actually show us what his at-home draft war room will look like. It's done up. Rivera and the Redskins currently hold the second overall pick in the highest pressure work-from-home meeting in franchise and league history. And here's news that NFL fans will be interested in. Rob Gronkowski, who spent last year in retirement, is together again with Tom Brady, only this time not in New England, it's in Tampa Bay. That sentence alone has to make Patriots fans feel a little ill. Gronk decided to come out of retirement and join his former quarterback in New England, so the Patriots sent Gronk from New England to Tampa Bay to be with Brady again. In return, the Patriots will receive a fourth-round draft pick. Gronk is only 30 years old, and he spent all of last season in practice retirement. Brady is 42, and now the two hope to rebuild some of that magic for the Buccaneers, who, by the way, remember, have head coach Bruce Arians, who is widely regarded as one of the best passing game minds in the NFL today. 3 News Connect. Taking a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Go. We give you 3 coronavirus headlines that have you talking right now. A new treatment for the virus is ready to start in Toledo, which helps survivors donate plasma. We'll keep an eye on that. President Trump expected to demand that large businesses pay back that coronavirus relief money. And Cavs fan favorite Kevin Love shares how he's coping with anxiety during this pandemic. All of these stories and much more over at WKYC.com.
I now pronounce you husband and wife, and you may salute your bride. Congratulations.
Well, how about that? It was the first for the city of Cleveland as municipal judge Emanuela Groves married Derek Fleming and Terry Smith over Zoom today. They were joined by family and friends virtually, of course. Congratulations to the happy couple. And Monica, I guess if we're looking for a sign of the times, that is certainly it.
Definitely. That's the easiest way to get married ever, too, I'm sure.
And the cheapest, for sure. I'll guarantee that.
Yeah,
and by the way,
exactly.
28 degrees is shorts weather. I want it, the next time it's 28 degrees, I expect to see a picture of you outside in shorts. That's crazy.
Absolutely. Hey, I'm Norwegian and Ukrainian, so to me, 28 degrees is a heat wave. And after this last weather we've had is not a problem. So there. It
is in your DNA. That's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back here tomorrow again at noon for 3 News Connect. We hope to see you then.